And we're back, folks, here on WrestleRant, where every single week I, Graham Jason Matthews, break down all the pay-per-views that I watch on the WWE Network and Impact Plus. Last week, WrestleRant returned with my review of TNA Unbreakable 2005. Friday, we talked about NWA WCW Halloween Havoc 1989. Today, we're talking ECW Living Dangerously 1999. This was an okay show. Now, it's been a while since I've seen an ECW show. We reviewed all the shows from 95, 6, 7, and 8 from the mid to late 90s here on the show before, as well as, I think, the first pay-per-view of 99 for ECW called Guilty as Charged 1999. As you guys probably know, I am not the biggest ECW fan. A lot of these shows I just do not find to be entertaining in the slightest, but I do want to go back and watch all the old shows to catch up, get familiar with the product from that point in time. This wasn't a bad show. This might have been one of the better ECW shows I've seen in the last year and a half I've been watching and reviewing ECW pay-per-views. To kick off the show, we had Super Crazy taking on Yoshihiro Tajiri. You know Tajiri from WWE. These guys had a great cruiserweight-style match. Very well done here. I guess they might have had one other match. Maybe on the last show. Let me double-check here. Yeah, they had a match at the Guilty as Charged show, too. Again, it's been a while since I've seen that show, because I reviewed that back in November, and it's currently July as I'm sitting here recording this. This was a good match. I can't really compare it to the previous match because I don't remember it, but this was a very good match. I thought it was the perfect way to open the show. From my notes here, because I've given ratings to each match and my thoughts on each one, I think the other one, their first encounter, was better than this one, but this was still a really good match between two great competitors. And it was this time Super Crazy going over, whereas the first time Tajiri picked up the victory. So Super Crazy evening the score here with a win over Tajiri. Great opener, I thought. One of the better matches on the entire show. We had Balls Mahoney with Axel Rotten, who have both since passed away, which is very sad when you think about it, taking on Steve Corino, which is, he is thankfully very much still with us, now working for WWE as an agent. Balls Mahoney came out, squashed Steve Corino. Steve Corino, I guess, wasn't supposed to be in action on the show. He was talking shit about the audience. Out comes Balls Mahoney. He squashes him in 4 minutes with a chair shot, and that was it. And the match was over. This was absolute shit. I like Steve Corino, but this was absolute garbage. Another garbage match, not literally, but figuratively, because there would be other garbage matches on this show. So Antifaz Del Norte, I guess is how you pronounce his name. He took on Little Guido with Sal E. Graziano of the Full Blooded Italians. This match was also nothing special whatsoever. Guido won with the Boston Crab. I don't know if you call it the Boston Crab because he's not from Boston. The Italian Crab, maybe. The match was absolute shit. The crowd did not care. They chanted boring during this. That's never good. Guido goes over. This was total throwaway. This was our first, truly great match of the show. Probably there were some other matches later on that were good, but this was still a great match in my opinion. Rob Van Dam, Jerry Lynn for the ECW World Television Championship. Now, if you know anything about RVD and Jerry Lynn, you know that they've battled pretty much everywhere from ECW, even WWE, TNA a bunch of times. They have a very decorated history from the last 20 years. And they've always had great matches. Jerry Lynn is awesome. Rob Van Dam is equally excellent. So it came as no surprise that this match was absolutely phenomenal. And I fucking love the fact that they utilized the time limit draw here. Now, I just got finished watching Fyter Fest, AEW Fyter Fest. I'm recording this after that show. By the time this goes up, it will have been a week and a half, whatever, since that show initially aired. But Fyter Fest, they did the same thing. Now, I feel like time limit draws are not utilized all that often in wrestling. Never in WWE. Only when it's convenient for them, which is never. I've seen it in Ring of Honor before. I've seen it in Impact maybe once or twice. And now AEW is starting to do it, which is great. But ECW also did it back in the day as well, and they did it here. Jerry Lynn almost had the championship won. The match ended in a 20-minute time limit draw, and that was it. And they begged for 5 more minutes. The crowd wanted 5 more minutes. They got the 5 more minutes, and RVD ended up retaining the title with a 5-star frog splash. This was great. It had a really good pace. They just beat the holy shit out of each other. So not only was it good from an in-ring standpoint, but they incorporated the hardcore elements of the match very well, I thought, to the point where it wasn't over the top. the same way the next match would be, which I'll get to in a moment. But this, I thought this was beautifully crafted, very well put together, and was just an overall excellent match. I very much enjoyed this. Rob Van Dam coming out on top, still the ECW World Television Champion. So I talked about that garbage match that I thought was total shit. New Jack taking on Mustafa, two guys from the Gangsters battling each other. This was one of those matches where they had the Gangsters music playing in the back, like the entire match, and I hate that. I fucking hate that. At least on the WWE Network replays, because the music is awful, and it just plays on and on and on for like 10 minutes. It's absolute trash. I'm sure they're just dubbing it over for a song that was there previously, but even that is a little like, to play a song for 10 minutes of a match, and I've seen longer matches with these guys. This was still pretty bad, though. It was just a chaotic brawl, but not in a good way. It was just a mess. The only good thing about this match, and it's purely subjective as to whether it's good or not, was New Jack jumping off of a fucking balcony and landing on Mustafa. Now, if he mistimed this, if he moved, he would have been fucked. That would have been a bad spot. It was pretty crazy that he did it at all and connected. But both guys were out. They got dragged back into the ring. New Jack covers Mustafa like an anticlimactic fashion. But this should have ended the match, to be fair. This really should have ended the match. And it did. But that was it. The rest of the match was complete shit. So it was supposed to be Spike Dudley and Nova up next, taking on the Dudley Boys with Joel Gertner and Sign Guy Dudley in their corner. But Nova got attacked beforehand by the Dudleys. The Dudleys start talking shit about Spike. They issue an open challenge for anyone to team with Spike on the show. Ended up being Sid. This was not a good match. From an in-ring standpoint, it was garbage. But the crowd ate up Sid here. They love Sid. They went nuts for Sid when he came out. Sid dominated. This really was not a great match. Spike Dudley ends up picking up the victory, beats Bubba with the acid drop, only to get attacked by Sid afterward, who powerbombed Spike and then again threw a table on the ramp. So, not a great night for Spike, but this was not a good match. The moment of Sid coming out and just, again, the crowd eating up everything he did was cool. So, from an atmosphere point of view, because there was other matches on these shows that were good, but the crowd didn't give two shits. Like the next match in the main event. But they love Sid here, but the actual match was complete shit. It was more of an angle than a true match, to be honest with you. We had a 6-man tag team match, or rather a tag team match, up next with Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas, the franchise, with Francine in their corner, taking on the Impact Players, the team of Just Incredible and Lance Storm, with their managers Dawn Marie, Jason Knight, and Jazz. This I thought was a good match. It wasn't great. I didn't think it was on the same level as RVD and Jerry Lynn from earlier, but it probably lasted a little longer than it needed to, at almost 20 minutes. That's probably why the crowd died down the stretch. They really were not into this, which is I was surprised by. Maybe they don't like good wrestling, I don't know. But they were into the opener, so I'm not really sure what the issue was here. The crowd just wasn't really feeling this shit, but I thought it was a good match. The wrestling itself was solid. I thought everyone involved played their parts well. Dreamer and Shane went over. Afterwards, Cyrus the Virus came out. All fucking, chaos ensues here. It just ends with Cyrus headbutting Francine. So that was that. But the actual match I thought was good. Probably better than the crowd gave it credit for. They weren't pooping on it, but they weren't exactly engaged in the action either. So we got to the big-time main event for the ECW and FDW World Championships here. It was a unification match, Extreme Rules death match between the ECW World Champion Taz and the FDW World Champion Sabu. Now, they faced off before on one of these shows. I forgot which one. I think Barely Legal, I want to say. Barely Legal, maybe 1998, I think. They had a great match on that show. This wasn't quite as good as that. I would put it probably on the same level. This was just overall kind of underwhelming, to be honest with you. I thought it was a good main event. They worked well together. They clearly had great chemistry. Sabu had Bill Alfonso in his corner, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But just, again, on paper it was a big match, and they built it up very well over the course of the show, and the stakes, and everything else on the line here, everything else that was up for grabs. But when the bell rang, it didn't really seem like the crowd gave it that big fight feel. So I don't want to blame it entirely on the crowd, but I thought, again, it was a good match. They got about 20 minutes, which they should have, because, again, they work well together. but it didn't really have, that oh my God, the epic feel that you would expect it to, Taz did go over here. He won with the Taz mission. Sabu, I think, tapped out, not passed out. And then he shook Sabu's hand afterwards. So again, from an in-ring standpoint, I thought it was great. It was also a very brutal match, too. A lot like RVD and Jerry Lynn, where they didn't go outside of that over-the-top limit of what's too extreme. You know what I mean? Just the crowd not being all that into what they were doing, I thought kind of hurt it, in my opinion. But overall, it was a very good main event. And that closed out an overall good show. Again, I know I talked a lot of shit about some of those undercard matches, like Little Guido and Antifaz Del Norte, and then New Jack Mustafa, and then, God forbid, what was the other one? Balls Mahoney and Steve Corino. The matches were shit. Those were garbage. But I thought the bigger matches delivered, and that was what was important in my opinion. The Sid moment they ate up. RVD and Jerry Lynn was my personal match of the night. Just the standard tag team match, second to last, I thought was very good. Good, and I thought the main event was even better. The crowd went in and out at various points. I don't know if I would recommend watching the entire show, but thankfully it's only about 2 hours and 40 minutes of your time. It's not like 4 hours like a WWE pay-per-view nowadays. I would pick and choose what you want to watch here. I would recommend the main event and then RVD and Jerry Lynn. But if you watch the whole show, and even the opener too, I thought was also very good. So on the whole, I thought the good outweighed the bad. The crowd was kind of a disappointment in my opinion. They didn't really help any of the matches. They didn't hurt them. At least the ones that needed, the investment, the crowd investment, they weren't exactly helping there. But they weren't terrible either. They were pretty good overall. So that was Living Dangerously, ECW's Living Dangerously pay-per-view from 1999. Be sure to check it out on the WWE Network. As for my review, guys, thank you for checking it out. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll be back with a new WrestleRant likely Friday, I want to say, if not at some point this weekend. So I'm going to aim to do 2 WrestleRant videos a week, with one earlier on in the week on Mondays or Tuesdays, and then another one on Friday or Saturday. And I'm going to hope to record a whole bunch. And just a heads up, they're probably going to be largely ECW pay-per-view reviews for a while, just because after this one, we have 12 more to go. That's not a lot compared to the WCW ones, which is like 100. No joke, I counted them. So how many I have left to review. So that being said, I'll probably just get all the ECW pay-per-view reviews out of the way over the next month or so. And that'll be up this weekend. I'm going to try to watch and review as many pay-per-views as I can before I leave next Monday. Next Monday, I'm leaving for England for a week and a half. And during that point, I won't be able to record anything new while I'm away likely. I'll just have older content go up, either like WrestleRant videos or old WrestleRant radio full episodes or old interviews, stuff like that, and also videos that I take while I'm in England. So just a heads up on that. But nonetheless, guys, thank you for supporting the channel. Very much appreciate it. Have a great rest of your week. I'm Graham Jason Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.